Bonjour YouTube, welcome back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the new echoes in Renacita that released in 2.0. We're going to talk about the characters that can use those, who we might be good on in the future. No leaks, of course, but I mean, we already know, for example, the elements of Phoebe, of Brent, and stuff like that. So we might be able to guess who we might be good on. And also the existing character that we already have who could use those new sets. So yeah, I hope it answers your questions about which character can use what set, and let's get into it. So first, we got the Frosty Resolve. This set gives 12% resonance scale damage bonus, and if you have the full set, you also gain an extra 22.5% glacial damage bonus for 15 seconds. And an extra 18% resonance skill damage bonus after you use your liberation. So after you use your skill, 22.5% glacial damage, and after you use your liberation, 18% skill damage bonus. You can stack this effect up to 2 times. So with Carlotta, for example, you can get 45% glacial damage bonus, and for the second part of the passive, I'm not sure actually if you get the 36 resonance scale damage bonus or not for every time you shoot with your ult, but it might be the case, honestly. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense really. Either way, it is really freaking good on Carlotta, and it's definitely her best option. I don't think there's really any other character that can really use it. I guess Sanwa, if you want to make Sanwa your DPS, she can potentially use it because her skill cooldown is pretty low. If we look at Sanwa's skill cooldown, how much is that? Skill cooldown 10 seconds, so you can basically get very high damage on her skill. She can use it quite often, so it's not too bad. Also 45% damage, I mean glacial damage bonus, or even 22 is not negligible compared to the current Glacio set that gives you basically 40% in total. So you can get 40% glacial damage in total with the current set. The new one can give like roughly the same and more specific to skill damage. So depending the characters, I think it's the best for Carlotta. Sanwa can kind of use it. Ling Yang, not really. Maybe in the future we're gonna get new glacial characters that can benefit from this. On Zhuzha, it's not really that good. Most Zhuzha's damage is considered basic attack damage, so it's not gonna be very useful on her. Everything she does is gonna be basic attack damage bonus, so the new set is not very good on her, and we'll see that she has better options. So glacial set, new glacial set, Carlotta best in slot, Sanwa can use it. Other characters not really good. Eternal Radiance, new spectral damage set. Spectral damage bonus plus 10%, and with the full set, inflicting enemies with spectral frazzle increases crit rate by 20% for 15 seconds. Attacking enemies with 10 stacks of spectral frazzle grants 15 spectral damage bonus. You can get up to you get 20 crit rate and 15 spectral damage bonus plus the 10, 25. At the moment, you only have one character that can use this set. It's really not good on anyone else, and it's going to be Spectral Rover, because until now, Spectral Rover wouldn't have been able to use that set, but they added a new thing on Rover's kit. I think it's here. If diminutive sound exceeds 50 when resonance skill is used, so the forte stacks at the bottom above your HP bar. So if you have at least 50, so I think it's just like 1 bar basically, the damage is considered as resonance scale damage and applies 2 stacks of Spectral Frazzle along with Shimmer. Shimmer prevents Spectral Frazzle stacks from reducing over time. So basically at the moment only Spectral Rover has Spectral Frazzle in the kit. And what Spectral Frazzle basically does is that it applies some sort of DOT on the enemy. I don't know if I can show you here if there's any yeah, there are monsters here. Okay. Okay. So here you can see I have almost 50%. So here, if I do that, oh wait, I don't have the set. No, I do have the set. You saw the DOT. The enemy took 500 extra damage after some time. So here, if I do that, boom. See, the enemy has 2 stacks here. 1 stack, boom, 1k damage. 1k damage, and then with the spectral set, when the enemy has 10 stacks, you will gain extra spectral damage, basically. Oh, my rover is on Havoc set and still deals pretty decent damage, actually. Oh, I missed. Fuck. So if you don't refresh the skill after a while, the enemy will lose the stacks. So if I don't use another skill now, the enemy will lose the stacks. So you need to refresh the stacks still at some point with the skill. And then yeah, the more stacks, the more damage over time. So actually pretty good damage, 2k with no spectral set. It's actually pretty good. So at the moment, only Spectral Rover can use it, but I assume that Phoebe, who is also Spectral, is probably going to be able to use that set. So if you're waiting for Phoebe, highly recommend farming that set for her so you can get ready. If you pulled Carlota and you're planning for Phoebe as well, then just farm this Tacit Field. You got both, and it's going to be pretty simple. After that, we have the new Midnight Veil set. Havoc damage plus 10%. When Outro skill is triggered, deal 480% Havoc damage to surrounding enemies, considered Outro skill damage, and grant the incoming Resonator 15% Havoc damage bonus. So this set is basically made for Rocha. We could test her out a little bit in the main story quest, and she's basically a support made for Camellia. And yeah, the set is basically Rocha is going to get more damage, and when you swap out, you will give 15% Havoc damage bonus to your Camellia. So if for now you were using Sanwa with your Camellia and you were using the ER set, you were gaining 20%, 22.5% attack on the character that was coming after your Outro skill. So now it's 15% Havoc damage if you're using the new Havoc set. It's probably going to be better overall for Rocha. I don't think she will need that much energy overall. And the Havoc damage with the 2-piece will be very, very useful for her. So overall, 100% best in stock for Rocha. So if you're prepping for Rocha, definitely use that set on her. And it can still be useful, I would say, on some other characters. Let's say you play Havoc Rover or you play Danjin with Havoc Rover. I think Danjin can use that new Havoc set if you play her as a pure support. She will buff your Havoc Rover damage on top of doing some extra damage with the Havoc buff and the Outro skill damage. So it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's worth farming this for Danjin as well, unless you play your Danjin as main DPS. But Danjin has very good synergy with Havoc Rover. She already gives 23% Havoc damage, so it would be 38 with the set. And she will deal pretty deep damage still, so I think it's worth it. Is my dungeon not finished? Double crit, double crit, double crit. Just her crit damage so low, I guess because no crit damage weapon. I don't have enough crit damage weapon for everyone, unfortunately. Now, next set we have Empyrean Anthem. Energy recharge plus 10% and increase the coordinated attacks from the Resonator by 80%. Upon a critical hit of coordinated attack, increase the active Resonator's attack by 20%. So it gives more ER, more coordinated attack damage, and also 20% attack for the characters that is on the field every time your coordinated attack deals crit damage. So it's gonna be the new best in slot 100% for Zhezha, Ginlin, even Mortify. It's probably gonna be the best set for them, mainly because at the moment we're all using, at least most people are using the Moonlit Cloud set, which gives 22.5% attack to the incoming Resonator after you use your Outro skill for 15 seconds, which forces you to have, it forces you to get your Concerto, do your Outro skill, and then the buff only lasts for 15 seconds. With this new set, you basically don't care about the actual skill. You can get the buff almost basically anytime, as long as your coordinated attack deal crit. Crit on the enemy. So it's much better, I would say. Like, and also your coordinated attack deal 80% damage, which is huge. So if you have the resources and the time, I would recommend farming this new set for Yinlin and for Zhezha. And maybe for Mortify, but yeah, at least for Zhezha, I think it's like really good, because Zhezha doesn't really need to do anything other than using her ultimate to get the coordinated attack, so it's pretty good. And then yeah, it's also good on Yinlin, it's also good on Mortify, and I think that's basically it. I don't think anyone else can use it really. Yeah, we don't really have anyone else that does coordinated attack damage. If Bran does coordinated attack damage, that could be good on him as well. But no idea yet, so... And then final set is Tidebreaking Courage. At the moment, no one can use that really. Like, it's not really useful on anyone. Gives energy, gives attack. And if you have 250 energy on your resonator, it increases all the damage from the resonator by 30%. It's good. I mean, it looks pretty good on paper, but at the moment, we don't really have any character that requires 250 energy recharge. And that stays on field or whatever, so... Well, that is a DPS. Like, the only character that requires 200 and something energy is going to be Shorekeeper, but she's not really a DPS, so you don't really want that set on her. So it's probably going to be for a future character, but at the moment, I wouldn't really pre-farm that set or anything, because we have no idea who can use that, alright? So basically useless. I think the two best tacit fields to farm at the moment are the most useful one, at least for now, is going to be the one that gives you Frosty Resolve and Eternal Radiance, especially if you pull for Carlotta. If you don't pull for Phoebe, I think this set is probably going to be good for other people in the future, and I think Spectral Rover also became much better, much stronger with this new set, so you could definitely test it out. And if you're pulling for Rocha, this one here as well is very good. And this one here as well is very good. You could also rebuild your dungeon, as I said earlier, for more support angle for your Havoc Rover, with and farm at the same time for Mortify, Yinlin, or Zhezha. So yeah, this tacit field, this one as well. I think those two are pretty good. And for the ER set, I think we'll have to wait and see what's up with it. Oh god, my rover took some damage, so she looks like a little bit scattered. Looks a little bit like injured and stuff. If you already have very good stats, for example, on your Zhezha, and you don't really want to spend more time like farming a new set, I'm using Glacier at the moment on her, but let's say you have an ER set or something that is very good on your Zhezha or on your Yinlin already. You don't want to spend too much resources farming a new set. It's not really necessary to farm that new coordinated attack set. But I think it's still like a substantial improvement. So if you don't have anything to prep for, or if you have enough resources for the future, etc., and you don't have anything to spend your resources on, I think farming those new sets can be useful. And I think that's it for the video, honestly. Let me know if it was helpful. Hopefully I could help you know like what to farm and what character you can work on. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Hope you had a good time. Bye-bye.